2, 1. It probably synced. We got it.
Yeah, well, you'll get it.
I'll figure it out. In any case, hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tavern Adjacent. We took a week off to do the monthly Q&A, but we're back, and we're back with a guest, Duke from One Shot Questers. Thank you so much for coming back onto the show.
Okay, thanks for asking me. It's great to always hear back from people who had me on. Like, what, you asked me, like, when I, like, first started this, and then you reached back out, and I was like, oh, man, frick, absolutely, I'll jump back on.
To give yourself some credit, when you first started this, you had 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, and now we're at 600 and almost 640 now, so. Woo.
And what's the TikTok at? Like, is the TikTok at, like.
TikTok's almost at 1 million.
Yeah, that's what close. I was thinking.
It would have hit 1 million if I didn't go, I'm leaving TikTok, and then came back. But, yeah, it's almost at 1 million.
Okay, I know that this is not going to interest the majority of the audience, but I have got to ask, because when I still did my other gig, I wrote a thing on TikTok monetization. What is your experience as a TikTok creator and running on that business as a platform? Because the experience that I and my contacts have had has been not awesome.
TikTok. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you a good example between YouTube and TikTok. So YouTube will reward you for really thinking outside of the box, really pushing out what is new and unique. That's where Mr. Beast is really exceeding. And that's where Ryan Trahan has succeeded with, like, turning 1 penny or getting a penny to Mr. Beast or turning a penny into a house. It's things that, like, no one's really seen, and it catches your interest, and it's people where people want to sit down and invest. TikTok will reward you for doing the thing that is trendy. So if you are trying to do something that is outside of the trendiness, you're going to fail. Like, I got almost 1 million followers on TikTok, and I posted a video about me going to Gen Con. TikTok only pushed that out it only got 2,000 views on it.
Jeez.
And then literally that same day, I posted that at like 4 o'clock on the same day. 5 o'clock, an hour later, I posted a video where I was like, yeah, this is going to get views. Instantly, TikTok pick it up, and it's at 500,000 views now. And it's just like, So, yeah, TikTok is absolutely horrible, but at the same time, it's almost one of the greatest places to build an audience. Like, I have to give...
No, go forward.
I have to give TikTok props, because One Shot Questers would not be where it's at without TikTok.
Yeah, so. TikTok. It's just crazy how quick, like, influencers that I worked with, like, way in the past, or that I was watching in, like, 2015, people who, started to dip onto YouTube, and they find this whole new life through TikTok and short form content. And man, for the longest time, I never got it, but now I might get into it, because it's just so random and crazy what blows up there. You just put something up and boom, 500 bajillion views.
Yeah, I think the one that surprised me the most, where I think it's almost got 10 million views on YouTube, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, I think it barely got 1 million on TikTok, but like, it was the inventory in D&D doesn't make sense. Let me show you why, and it's got 8.4 million views. I think the last time I checked, I was like, what the heck?
To be fair to Dungeons & Dragons, I don't think inventory in any game I've ever played makes any sort of sense.
No, it doesn't. That's probably like 90% of the comments being like, this guy obviously hasn't played Minecraft before. So
hey, actually, I play Minecraft a hell of a lot. In fact, after every D&D game, my friends stay up until 3 a.m. because we finish D&D at around 12, and then we stay up until 3 a.m. playing Minecraft. So
are you ready for the new Minecraft D&D integration going on?
I'm going to be real with you. So if you guys aren't familiar with Minecraft, there's 2 versions of Minecraft. There's Minecraft Bedrock, which is the version on your console. That's the version on your phone, and the version that you can have on the Windows 10.
Yeah.
And then there's Minecraft Java. I play Minecraft Java, meaning I do not get the Minecraft Dungeons & Dragons into... No, I do not.
Oh!
So I'm going to be real...
Sucks.
I don't think I'm going to be missing out on too much. I think these look, I have a lot of experience with these Minecraft integrations, because I've actually been playing Minecraft way longer than I've been playing D&D. I'm going to be honest. So I'm going to say that these integrations, what they usually are, they're like 5, maybe you'll get 10 hours out of them, a couple days of content that you get for cheap, and then you move on. Like they're fun, and I think they're cool, and I'm glad a lot of people are excited for the Minecraft D&D integration. But for me, like me and my friends, we're gonna keep on playing Bed Wars on the Hypixel server. But
fair.
yeah,
that is fair.
But with that being said, like back to your channel and your work. I do. Yes, we're here to talk about. Well, I love talking about Minecraft as much as the next guy. but in any case, what you have been working on One Shot Questers, you guys went through this massive, if you don't mind me asking, this massive transitionary phase.
It's fine.
Like at the beginning of 2023, you guys went through a lot. Can you just walk us through the process of what you guys were thinking when you were going through that? Because I totally get where you're coming from. Like in work, in business, you try stuff, you try your best, and sometimes you just are like, crap. Where did we go wrong?
Okay, so let's take that a little. Let's take that last bit that you just said. We didn't say where did we go wrong. We went, okay, what did we learn from this, and how do we make it better? So
hell yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. We didn't go wrong in any way. If anything, we learned so much from that experimentation that we did all of last year. And you know what? Yes, we failed. We failed multiple times. We had so many video ideas, so many concepts that we wanted to try that just utterly tanked super, super hard. And you know what? That is the point of being a business. That's the point of being a content creator. You do not succeed. You do not grow unless you fail. So the whole thing about it was I was trying to expand the bubble of Dungeons and Dragons and trying to show people that, hey, we don't need to keep doing all these same things that we have been doing. Like, let's really try to expand this bubble. Let's try to make something different. Let's try to give the audience something to look forward to besides D&D session, how-to videos, comedy videos, things like that. And so I tried to do that. I tried to go into the style of Mr. Beast. And it was successful for quite a few videos. And it was so much fun. I have no regrets doing it. So we made the world's tallest dice tower. That was so much fun. Literally, that was the first time me and my editor, Jakin, who's now here in Texas with me working in the studio. It's awesome. That was the first time we worked together. He was phenomenal. We have the world's tallest dice tower, unofficial record, 22 feet tall. And then after that, we did another video where we donated $10,000 to random D&D streamers. So much fun. I like to say I bought friends. They don't like it when I say that, but I got through that, I was
Bro,
able
you don't
to
need to
make
buy
so
friends,
many...
man. You're such a charismatic guy. I have so many doubts that you have trouble making friends.
Oh, thank you. Well, I kind of do. I'm very much like that. One Shot Quester Duke is very much a persona, and he's very more extroverted. Duke is very introverted. I like my space. I like my earbuds in my ears and going in public and not listening to anyone. Like, I'm very more introverted. But like, that being said, if you guys ever see me around public or anything like that, please stop and say hi. Even if I'm like, don't look like I want to talk. Like, if you're a fan of the channel, please stop and say hi. It means way more than anything.
I swear to God, I saw you.
Oh,
by
really?
The way. Were you in Arizona circa like 20? Have you ever been to Arizona?
Yes, I have.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay, were you there like circa 2021, like summertime, like right at the beginning of August?
Maybe. I went to...
Dude.
Yes, actually.
Where'd you go?
I went there because me and my wife went on our anniversary and we went to Medieval Times in Arizona.
Okay, yeah, because I think I messaged you and I felt weird about it because I deleted it right after because I was like, okay, this is weird. I don't know if I want to text this guy about this.
Don't do that. I want to meet people. Like, I want to. Like, I'm not gonna instigate it because I don't know if your guys are fans or not. But like,
no, because it was
know me.
weird. Look. All right, so I'm on my daily commute. I'm going through the city. I'm on my scooter, and I waltz by, and I see you at a table, and I just stand there for like 5 seconds, like, what the hell? Is that him? Nah.
Should've.
Kept on going.
You totally
what if it
should've.
wasn't you?
What if now you know? Now you know.
Now you know.
But
what if it was just another white guy with brown hair and like?
It might have been. Who knows? I look
Who
much.
knows?
I look a lot like everyone out there. Very,
But yeah, that was like fun fact there. But anyway, continue what you were saying. I just had to bring that up because it's
No,
been
you're
burning
good.
in my mind for the past 10 minutes. So
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, anyway, Introverted Duke is introverted. One Shot Quester Duke, please
Yes.
come and say hi, whatever. I will be more than happy. Anyway, so we did the donating $10,000, which was absolutely amazing. Those videos did very well. And then we went to a game store. We bought every single D&D product there, and then we gave it away for free. And we had like 450 people show up to that event. Absolutely insane. It was crazy. So much fun. We tried to do that, and then we stopped because I was like, whoa, we're going way too big, way too fast. And so we stopped it for a bit. And then I also was doing the dice challenges, which people really enjoy the dice challenges. On top of that, we went to this school in Washington, and we were able to give them like $5,000 worth of products to help them start their gaming club and everything. It was fantastic. That was strictly done by the community. Like, I think I got one small sponsorship out of that, like to help with the funds. And then we had a sponsorship help provide material for it. And then we had the community come together, and someone donated like $2,000 to this, and it was insane. And so I was able to fly to Washington and help these kids out. It was amazing. I got to reach out to see how they're doing. Actually, I know how they're doing. They're doing fantastic. They started a chess club, and their chess team went to state, and one of them won the state championship. So that was really
That's
cool.
awesome.
If anyone was a part of that, just know that you guys were able to help. That was fantastic. I totally forgot to reply to the email to that because I got really busy. But after that, we were like, okay, cool. Let's turn it around a little bit. Things were good. We had 3 different channels at that point. We had One Shot Quips, which was still now One Shot Questers. And then we had One Shot Questers and One Shot Campaigns, which was our D&D campaigns. And things, honestly, looking back at it, we were doing pretty good. It was really, really nice. I think it was very beneficial, and it taught us a lot. And then I went, okay, let's do something else. Let's make a streaming platform. And so we tried to do the streaming platform because I was really into Quarter Crew, really into Dropout, and I was like, I think we could do well with the streaming service. And so I put in way too many hours, way too much money into that streaming service to ultimately just scrap it in April. And I was like, this isn't working. Like, I've had it up for 4 months and only have, I think we had like 26 active viewers over there, but we weren't getting like many views. And then I was like, all right, let's just go back to Patreon, and we'll go from there. Instantly, when we got over to Patreon, like, we skyrocketed over there, outperformed the streaming service in any way that like we possibly could. And I was like, wow, okay, well, you know what? I tried. The what ifs are gone. They are out of here. I won't have like any regrets in this creative space of being like, well, what if I did do this? What if I did try this?
Yeah,
I did do those.
that mentality is freaking awesome because, like, honestly, I tried, like, obviously not even close to your level, but I tried to do an actual play twice. So I tried 2 actual plays, and I was beating myself up over it because first campaign I did, both actual plays, I don't regret anything. My cast was awesome. I think I was a good DM, and the audience was great. But, the first campaign, it did not perform well. I put in a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of hours into that, and it didn't do well. And I was like, let's try it again, because what's better than doing the same thing twice?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, what could possibly go wrong? And then guess what? It didn't go well. And I was like sitting with my therapist, just literally disassociating right in front of her, going, what was I thinking? I tried it once, and then I did it again. What is wrong with me? But now I just don't. You're right. You don't have any of those regrets. Like, you tried it. You did your damnedest, and you don't have to ask your what if questions anymore. You tried. It didn't work out, and now you know.
Yeah, no, it was great. And what really like kicked my butt into going back to what One Shot Questers was I went to this thing called the Convergence. Probably heard a lot
at Evermore Park, baby. Is that
Yeah.
where it is?
Yeah. So went to the Convergence. I was one of the DMs there. This was an event hosted by Quincy's Tavern. We were at Evermore Park in Utah, where a bunch of fans got to come and play D&D with their favorite D&D creators. It was so much fun. And I got to shout out one person, Gabe Hicks. Met him the first day of the event, talked with him, and he was like, well, what do you do? And I was like, oh, so like my whole thing is I want to try to like break the mold a little bit. I want to try to expand the bubble of what we could do in this community. And he instantly went, I don't like that. Let's do something else. And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, make different bubbles and bring people to Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, oh, like my mind exploded. I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. Because I told him, I was like, yeah, because one of the best things about the channel is people really like this series that I did called Heroes Feast. And he was like, yeah, that's great. You took cooking, put a D&D twist to it, and now people got into the cooking and also got into D&D. You made a different bubble and brought people to there. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. And so for the whole year, I was trying to do something that I was working against the flow, when I should have just been fueling the flow.
Yeah.
And that's where everything changed. And that's where I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. And then I was talking to some of my friends, and shout out to Weston from Arcane Anthems. He reminded me my content is very easy for anyone to watch. Like fans of D&D, fans out of D&D, anyone could understand my jokes. And that is something that I feel like I am very, very good at in terms of the content creator, because a lot of D&D content creators, and nothing against them, they will make content that is for the average D&D player. Yeah. And just after the whole thing, I stopped and like I talked to my team, and I was like, hey guys, we've been doing this all wrong. I've made mistakes. I have made so many failures, but you know what? Guess what? We've learned from them. We know where our place is. And we went back to making content that anyone can understand inside of D&D and outside of D&D. And instantly when we made that change, we started seeing the positive feedback. We started seeing that growth. Yeah. We started seeing that connection with the audience once again. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, One Shot Questers is back. And I was like, oh my goodness. Dang, it felt good. And I was like sad at the same time because I forgot what One Shot Questers was all last year. And now, like, I'm going to get, like, a sign and, like, put it everywhere so I don't forget what this channel is. And now we were just comedy people. And now, like, since I just realized, I was like, holy crap. So many people came up to me at the conversions and said I was their introduction to D&D. So many people told me that. And I was like, really? Like, me? Yeah. And then everyone fell in love with everyone else. And I was like, oh, my gosh, I didn't realize this, but I am an introduction to so many people into the D&D world, where they can get into like Weston, where they can meet Weston, where they can start listening to Gabe's, where they can start listening to Dimension 20 and Critical Role. Like, I am the entry point for people, and then they go over there. And so with that, I went, okay, you know what? A lot of people have been asking this from me because, again, I didn't realize we were the introduction. People wanted to see videos of, like, how do you play D&D? Like, can you give us some tips and tricks and things like that? And so that's where today happened. We talked this before the interview. Was I posted a video today where it was like, what is Dungeons and Dragons? A brief overview, 2.5 minutes long. And people, like, the feedback from that has been phenomenal. Like, people have been telling us, like, it's one of the best explanations they've seen. They're going to be sending this to everyone they know. And literally, like, it doesn't have many views. It has 13,000 views, which is, like, really low for the channel. But, like, the comments and the likes, I look at those, and those tell me if a video was successful or not. And this video is successful, and, like, this video has filled my heart so much because I'm already helping so many people through this, and it's been great. Yeah. So, yeah, the channel's gone full circle, but where we were at, we were here, and now we're up here because we had to do all those trial and errors. And I don't regret it one bit. And shout out to my community, to everyone watching. Like, you guys were so patient with me as I try to experiment with it all. And everyone's had my back since day one. They've want to see this channel grow. And they're showing that by sharing these videos, by supporting, by watching, by sharing the today's video as well. And also by supporting us on Patreon too. Like, the amount of support where I've seen that, like, that's been wild. That has been wild to me, which is how much support we've seen from that. It's great. Like, I went through a year of hardships. Even this year was hard. Like, this year, again, we were trying to do so many things, and then we decided to switch around mid-May to this month, and things are great, and we're happy.
Yeah.
We're
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. So with that, I mean, I'm really glad the channel's doing well. We've learned a lot about the business of content. We always try to slip in some stuff because, hey, it's an interesting business. But in any case, now that we've got that out of the way, I think it's about time that we talk about, the game that you guys are supposed to be playing. Without further ado, let's get into that. All right. So, we're back. D&D is TTRPGs. They're interesting games, and you talk about them a lot. When you are, and I've got to ask this, when you're picking out topics to talk about in your videos, whether they be the comedy videos or your newfound guide videos, what do you find to be the most important stuff? Like, what do you want to focus on, and how does that connect to the way that you DM and play the game?
So, one of the things that I have really enjoyed for both the sketch comedy and for playing D&D has been I've really tried to show in a very simplistic way that whenever I explain something, that anyone will be able to get it, or the joke, like anyone will be able to get the joke. So like that's in the comedy space. So like I really try to keep things basic, where anyone can watch it and can understand. Like, I get that a lot. People are like, I have no idea what's going on. Just your comedy, your mannerisms are funny, and I like watching it. And so, like, to me, that means I'm succeeding because I'm not throwing out a bunch of, like, lingo and different things that the average non-player wouldn't know. And so that is something I look for in comedy. I just try to make it basic. When playing D&D, especially, is I try to make things simple enough where I try to make things simple where the flow doesn't stop, if that makes sense. Like, it's engaging for the players, it's engaging for the DM, it's engaging for the audience, where if I just keep things simple, I don't go into this elaborate descriptions, I don't really try to think outside the box of like what to say or what to do. I really just try to keep things simple. That way the momentum keeps going, and it's not just important on a video aspect, it's important for the DM and the players, because there's so many times where people really get into role play and where you just could really get invested into the session you're playing, and then either the DM or the players have to stop and because something was brought up, and we have to spend 5 to 10 minutes trying to figure it out, and everything's kind of on pause, and then you have to restart it, and and then that feeling's gone. That momentum is...
The vibe is broken.
Yeah, the vibe is broken. So for me, for one-shot questers, it's keep things basic. Just always keep things basic.
Yeah. When you're playing D&D, something that I've noticed that I think DMs struggle with, because people always ask me, like, how do I encourage players to role play? And I always imagine it like it's a run with hurdles. There are hurdles to role playing. Like, you have to get over your nervousness around doing a character voice. You have to get over like this just general dorkiness of pretending to be this fantasy person. As the dungeon master, the more you remove those hurdles and the easier you make it, the more your players are going to be encouraged to run that race.
Absolutely.
Because so many DMs will put their players immediately into, like, not a lot of DMs, but I see it way too often where DMs will put their players into like a really intense roleplay situation, like a dead mom or like a tragic moment in the campaign as their like first thing. And I get, like, from a storytelling perspective, that makes sense. But for brand new role players who have never interacted with the game, what are they supposed to do with that? It's really hard to roleplay tragedy, to roleplay something serious. It's much easier to do something simple at the beginning. And of course, it depends on the skill level of your role players. But for me, that was a big mistake I made early on. Like, I was trying to like get players to role play out these elaborate moments when really I just needed something simple and easy to get them directly in there.
Absolutely. And there's another aspect to that as well that I learned this and I implemented it when I was at the Convergence playing with random strangers. Obviously, they knew me, but I didn't know them. And so that was kind of challenging. But one thing that I did as a dungeon master that helped so much, and I encourage every dungeon master to do this, is literally ask the players. Be like, hey, so-and-so, what is your character thinking right now? Like, in this moment. Like, don't just do this awkward pause and wait and have your like players go like, okay, what do you do? As a dungeon master, literally ask your players, what are they thinking right now? What would they like to do? There is nothing wrong with that. As the Dungeon Master, you are there to guide them. Prompting them to do something is guiding them, and it is not railroading. I've heard a lot of people say that it's railroading. It's not. It's helping, letting the players know, like, oh, okay, so, for instance, when we were playing with one of my groups, they were trying to get into the Feywild, and they were kind of stuck on a little bit of things, and I looked at one of the players, and I went, hey, what is your character thinking right now? Like, what's going through their head? What do you think they would have noticed? And then they go, oh, okay, so, like, my character would have noticed this and this. I, like, realized this and this and this. Like, I noticed we passed certain days, and you said, like, something that kind of stuck out to me. Literally, they were role-playing for, like, 5 to 10 minutes. They didn't bring it up until I asked them, and that's what clicked in their mind. And then they were able to progress. So, like, literally ask your players to role play. Like, it's not going to be Dimension 20. It's not going to be Critical Role. They are professional actors and voice actors who understand how things need to go. For regular people like us, we have to literally say, so for you, Crispy, I would say, Crispy, you enter this tavern, you see the tavern owner, you see like a hooded figure in the corner. What is your character doing right now? What would intrigue him? Like, where would he go first?
Yeah.
And like, that's how...
That's how you start. That's where you go. Also, another thing, kind of connected to that, something I've noticed over the past few sessions. I have a party who don't role play a lot. I role play a lot as a dungeon master. They don't need to necessarily reciprocate that same level of enthusiasm, even if they do love observing it. But recently, I've gotten them really into it by having them just have one-on-one conversations with other NPCs.
Yeah.
Like what has helped me so much. And this is obviously not going to work for everyone, but for me, this has done, like, wonders, is just while players are taking a watch, one of their NPC crewmates walks up and plays a game of cards and asks if you can go anywhere in the world, where you go. And then that's a 10-minute scene right there. And my players don't mind watching that because I have players who are willing to engage with someone else's roleplay. And seeing someone else be vulnerable, roleplay in that sense, in a one-on-one with me, that encourages everyone else to do the same thing. When I ask the group to roleplay together, they're all like waiting for their turn. But when it's just one person or two people, there's a lot less waiting because you can just jump right into it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's very good. Yeah. Easier. There's times where roleplay between group may not work, but roleplaying one-on-one is the best way to go.
Yeah. Of course, don't keep your party waiting for too long, all right? Because everyone else wants to play too. Keep that in mind.
Right.
Yeah, but when you are thinking about what you want to improve of, that is a horrible sentence. Words are so hard right now. When you're thinking about the places that you need to improve, like where's your mind go? Because I've been thinking about my campaign's coming to an end. Next week, a 2-year story is done, and I'm thinking, all right, now like where do I go from here? And I'm thinking about the things I need to do better. What about you? Like, where are things that you want to improve as a dungeon master or as a player? Either one.
I really beat myself up sometimes with being Dungeon Master. Like, to me, if you could ask anyone, like, probably anyone would say, like, oh, Duke's a great Dungeon Master. Like, I've had players tell me, like, I've been their favorite Dungeon Master. But to me, like, I tell myself, like, I'm not as great as what people think. Like, I do that all the time, and it's just, I think every Dungeon Master thinks that.
You're not a DM unless you have extremely annoying, intrusive thoughts.
Exactly. But the thing I really have tried to, when I like look to improve on things, is, again, keeping things simple, keeping things basic. I'll give you a good example. I struggle getting into Critical Role mainly because of how descriptive and how much information is thrown at me all the time. And it is 4 hours long. It's very rough for someone like me who's constantly thinking about my business, the channel, YouTube, D&D, just in general. It's hard to, and also having ADHD is really bad. It's hard for me to keep up on all of that. And I'm one of those people who can't be sitting down on my computer doing work and having something on. Like, I could have something on and like work outside and do construction, but if I'm like looking at words and stuff, I can't freaking do it. I can't do it to save my life. So sadly, Critical Role is just like out of the realm for me to listen to. Dimension 20 is fantastic. If you're watching it, that is something I've noticed is you have to have it up because they have a lot of visuals. Love Dimension 20. Love what they do. I think they're like my favorite people to watch because of just how good their role playing is. But the people who I look up to in terms of how to make a really good basic storyline or basic session is Dungeons and Daddies. That I've been listening to that series, and my editor actually got me into it. We were driving home from the Convergence. He turned it on, and we both were like, this is fantastic. And something I noticed with the Dungeon Master is he doesn't do elaborate voices. He doesn't do crazy scenarios. He doesn't give crazy descriptions. He literally goes, this is where you're at. This is what you see. This is what's going on, and lets you and the players connect the rest.
Yeah.
And that's what I have absolutely loved. Like I don't really know what a lot of the players look like. I don't know like really the world that they're in, but like I have my own thoughts about them, and I have like the own idea where the world is at. And to me, that is really nice. He keeps things so basic that I can easily follow along with it. Even if I like zone out, I can re-zone back in and know exactly what's going on, because it's not like, again, like Critical Role, Matt could give out this 5-minute information spiel that's detrimental, and then 50 episodes later, it comes back into play, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, did you remember when this came back to play? And I was like, no, what? Like, again, nothing bad against Critical Role or the fans or anything like that. It's just for me, I can't do things like that. My brain just doesn't allow me to do that, so it's really hard. But like Dungeons and Daddies, man, they are like top tier of where I want to be in terms of sessions.
Yeah, when you're like looking for things to take inspiration from, like everyone has their thing. Like everyone's different.
Yeah.
I've got Critical Role, you've got Dungeons and Daddies. Everyone's got their own inspiration to find what they love. Interestingly though, even though I listen to Critical Role more than I listen to any other pod, the pod that inspired me the most and that changed my game the most was this show called Realms Apart. It has I think it's over now. I only listened to like 10 episodes. I didn't listen to all of them, not even close. But I was listening to it, and there's these sound effects that play during the games, and I was like, man, when I'm on Discord, I can't really do mouth sounds anymore because the voice thing won't register it as talking, so it won't play through. But I was like, I could upload into a soundboard. I could do that, and I did, and it was awesome. It was so good. Like, it changed the way I play Dungeons and Dragons. Like, people are looking at, when you're listening to Shadow over Karakonos or Crown of Deceit, and you're listening to my shows, those sound effects are in the game. Like, it's not me editing in post. That's what I'm doing in the game.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of thing, it's all about finding your groove. Like, adding SFX into your game is not mandatory by any means, but it's made my game way better because everyone plays differently, and everyone's going to find inspiration from different places.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, that's my situation. And Freddie Wong, who is the creator of Dungeons and Daddies, I believe. I got to look it up, but Freddie Wong, he's created so many things. I'm guessing he's the one over Dungeons and Daddies. He literally said the best thing to do as a content creator and also as a dungeon master is to listen to other sessions and other podcasts, things like that, and figure out what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah. Find your style, find your groove.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes, no matter how found your groove is, sometimes some things go wrong in your sessions. And I asked you about this before the show started. And this is the second segment where this is the trauma bonding segment. So
let's go. I'm ready.
Let's go.
Drama. So, drama gets views. Let's go.
Duke, do you have any D&D horror stories? I know the answer, but just tell the audience.
I mean, I'm not like horror stories. I got ones that are like, ugh, but like nothing horror. And I've already kind of said them in the past, so it's kind of like, everything's been good.
But like, would you like to tell us about one?
Oh, sure.
Otherwise, you gotta listen to one of mine.
Yeah. So I think this is the one that I bring up the most. And I literally was like a rules lawyer, and I wanted to leave this game so bad. Like, this was like at the very beginning of when I became a content creator, and when I was like really getting known. I played in this like level 14, level 20 one shot. I can't remember what it was, but I had this group that I played with before, and then it was like a 2-part series. So we had part 1 and part 2. We're on this part 2, and we had this new person into the group. And this new person, I don't believe really ever played before. They really were trying to get an understanding of it. And, you know, our DM asked them to be a part of it. And, you know, it was fine. It was cool. It's his game. We're just the talent he's hired on, pretty much. So gonna work with what we can. But good heck, we were fighting the final boss, which was a white dragon and this, like, ice prince. And I kid you not, every time it got to this new person that came in, I know, like, I've never been so confident that someone fudged their rolls. And I am one of those people who loves to have the dice tell the story. I love having the dice tell the story. I do my very best not to fudge rolls because I don't want to, like, if my dice lands on a natural 20 and kills your character, well, I guess that's how the story's going to go. Like, type of thing. Or if, like, you do this one thing that I really don't want you to do and then I roll a natural 1, well, guess what? That's what the story is going to do. But this person literally was like, oh, natural 20, a 19, natural 20. I got so fed up, and this is my breaking point. This person rolled, and they rolled, and I kid you not, they said the answer before the dice stopped rolling. And that's where I was like, no. I knew. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, literally, are you serious right now? And they were like, oh, natural 20. And this dragon got like a buff somehow, but they said, but it like, what's your modifier? And we said the modifier, and I shouldn't have done it, but at the same time, I was so fed up. I literally said, oh no, I think like natural 20s don't automatically hit. You gotta still beat the DC. And so because I was like, just stop. Like, it is not fun to have someone always succeeding and doing max damage every time.
Also, and this is something that I said, because if you guys are unaware, and this is, I want to like put a clarification here. I have no like personal vendetta against anyone I'm about to bring up, like, at all. Okay, I know that because this person is unfortunately famous for having a lot of people with personal vendettas against them, and I don't think that's deserved. I don't know this person. I have no idea who they are. I'm sure they're a great guy, but I'm talking about Travis McElroy from Adventure Zone, who admitted he did a interview where he was like, "Yep, I was fudging dice throughout the pod," and I was like, I get what he's going for, and I understand, like, it's part of the story, but why not just do an audio drama at that point? Like, when you're, I get that the DM, I know that there are people who say, oh, well, the DM does it. Why can't you do it for a show? And to me, that's like, when you're doing a show, the audience is there to watch the game and the unpredictability of the game. My favorite moments of something like Critical Role is when stuff just freaking happens and you don't know what's going to go down because the dice are screwing with you. And sometimes, it's annoying. Like, sometimes Liam O'Brien will plan this epic move and it sounds so awesome, and then he'll roll in that one, and that sucks.
Yes.
That's really, as a viewer, that sucks when that happens. But that's part of the game. Like, that's why a lot of audience members are watching, and that's why when I heard that was going around, that, you know, during Adventure Zone there was a lot of fudge dice, I was thinking, man, that really sucks. Like, I don't know really how else to convey that. I just feel like that doesn't feel good, you know?
Right. So one of the things, also say hello to the wife. She's walking by right now.
Hi, hello. Hi, everyone.
One of the things that I have learned as a dungeon master, and this is really important for anyone who is doing a D&D session, like online, or just a D&D session in general. If you are fudging dice, and mainly people will fudge dice because of the low rolls. Some people may fudge dice because they don't want to succeed, but that is like rarely the thing. It's mostly when you roll low. The thing to make people not be scared about rolling low is, I'm trying to collect my thoughts, is you, as the dungeon master, need to make the failure sound acceptable. Like, a lot of people are scared, like, when you roll low or it's like a natural one, you die, you take hit points, you look stupid, like you're a stupid person. People don't want to look stupid. That's a human thing. People don't want their characters looking stupid. People don't want themselves looking stupid. People don't want to be saying stupid things. As the dungeon master, you need to find acceptable ways to make that failure acceptable to yourself, to what's happening in the story, and to the PCs as well. So for instance, let's say we have a fighter, and the fighter comes up, and their level 14, I think, is like when they get 3 attacks. I can't remember. Something around there. We'll just say level 5. They have their 2 attacks. They come up. They're skilled fighter. They're well known. They come in. Whoosh, whoosh. They both miss their attacks. Action surge. Whoosh, whoosh. They missed 4 attacks. Right? Many DMs will just come up and be like, you swing, and you're just looking like an idiot. Like, that's kind of, the exaggerated way people would say. But as a dungeon master, something that you don't just miss. It's also like one of those things where it's like, you also have to come up and say, like, okay, as you come up as the fighter, you swing your sword, and you are surprised by the NPC is able to block each one of your attacks with its sword. Like, it's able to counter it. And so it's not your player now looking dumb. It's saying, oh, this NPC has fighting skills and is blocking your attack, so now you have to figure out different ways to overcome that. It's little things like that. Build up your players even in failure. So that is...
Yeah, you need to... Mm-hmm. Yeah, go.
No. That's just important. It's like every time I have done that, when like my players are like, oh, I've rolled low, like this is stupid. Like they get angry, and then I explain what happens. They go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I like that. Like now my players are like not afraid to roll low. Like they're still like, oh, that didn't work. But then I'll still explain on how it could have happened. And it's just like, you just missed this one little part. Like, I'm not going to make you look stupid. You're a level 7 monk, and your athletics is super high. And for some reason you roll a natural 1 and you miss the DC check because of it. I'm not going to make you look dumb. I'm going to make you say, as you run, you jump, but you just miscalculated how far it actually was, and now you're hanging on to the edge instead of fully making it. So anyway, that's exactly all I have to say.
Framing is such a huge part of low rolls. Like sometimes it's funny to make a failure like a humorous thing, but
absolutely.
in serious moments, especially, like, time and place, you gotta figure that out. But anyway, that was a 22-minute discussion. That was fun.
Oh yes.
But we got D&D. We talked about improving in D&D. We talked about fudging dice.
Yep.
Fun stuff all around. But in any case, I think it's time to cap off part 2 and head off to our third segment. It's time to talk about some horror stories. Ready to be a $5 therapist?
I'm so ready to be a $5. I'm ready to be a Dollar Tree therapist.
Honestly, I think this is more of my fault than anybody else's. I once ran a homebrew adventure starting at level 1, where I opened the adventure with having the players running through the woods being chased by ghouls and skeletons. One of the players got hit in the back by an arrow from one of the skeletons that did negligible damage. He told me on his turn he wanted to fall prone and act like he was dead. I asked him that question, "Are you sure?" He said yes. Ghouls, yeah. One claw strike paralyzed him, a bite killed him instantly. He got understandably mad at me because this was less than 5 minutes into the game. But yeah. Next time I'll make sure to tell people that ghouls will kill them, whether or not they are dead or alive.
That is fantastic!
Can you imagine joining a D&D game and 5 minutes into the session, you're perma-dead? Amazing. So, for clarification, if you don't know the lore, ghouls eat corpses, right? That's like their thing.
Yeah. They're like zombies. They're like zombies.
Yeah, ghouls eat corpses. That's why the ghoul went after somebody that he thought was dead, because they eat dead bodies.
Let me double check really quick before.
I'm pretty sure that's true. if I'm wrong, guys, the amount of times I'm wrong about basic pronunciations, I think excuses me from being wrong about.
Oh yeah,
lore
yeah,
that
yeah.
I
They
don't-
eat people. They eat people. The picture that brought up is literally a ghoul eating an arm. So yes,
I'm pretty sure they
absolutely.
eat corpse. In any case, I'm pretty sure a ghoul would also be able to know if like a dead corpse is not dead. But in any
Right.
case, man, that is a definitely sucky situation that you found yourself in.
So here are my thoughts. I don't
your
think
thoughts.
either were. I got to give this one to the dungeon master
Okay.
because he like yes the arrow hit him in the back, and the dungeon master like obviously he didn't go down, but the player was like, oh, I'm gonna go down and act like I'm dead.
Why?
Yeah, that's another thing. Why, like, are you trying to get away? Are you just trying to get ignoring? Like, I don't know. It could have been different where he just said ghouls and he didn't really explain what a ghoul was. That could be on the dungeon master's fault. But the dungeon master gave him the "Are you sure you want to do this?" type of a thing. That's where I feel like he gave the player a second chance, and the player was like, "Oh yeah," and then the ghouls hit him, and then killed him. I feel like the dungeon master was just playing out the whole situation, like how it would actually go. And I just feel like the player just didn't really understand what a ghoul really was, or didn't really try to explain what their intentions were. But yeah, he got mad. But
what was okay? My curiosity. So he gets
Yeah.
shot in the back. He's still alive. They keep on running. The party's running. So assumingly the party leaves them behind. So what's the plan like long term? Are you just gonna lie there and like hope your
Exactly.
party doesn't get murdered by ghouls and skeletons because you got shot? I just feel like that's not a very smart play. But on top of that, like I think that in general this was a bad idea. But I think the one thing the DM maybe could have done is, like you said, I think this isn't just a flaw with the DM, but this is a flaw with how D&D sometimes can be put forward because. And this is a criticism that I think Davy Chappie talked about on my last show, was D&D sometimes doesn't have a lot of role play mechanics. Stuff like learning about monsters. But luckily, the system is very flexible, meaning that you can just have the player roll a religion check to see what a ghoul is. And just telling a player that, can you roll me a religion check to see what a ghoul is? That informs them that plan is probably not going to go well. But hey, there are some dungeon masters out there that are like, that's too nice. I would rather show them early on, like, this is a really bad idea. Because, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, that was a really bad idea.
It was.
Horde of monsters, undead creatures risen from death. If they think you're a corpse, isn't the necromancer that created them going to try to raise you and then immediately, like, you're going to be found out? You're screwed.
Right.
Like, what's the long-term plan? Roll into the bushes, leaving your party behind? Like, oh my god. It's a bad plan, man. I don't know what to tell you.
The other thing, my thing that I really like what Brennan Lee Mulligan does. He went in Dimension 20. My wife and I have been watching a lot of Dimension 20. She's really invested into it right now. But one thing Brennan does is he's not afraid to tell the players things. He's not afraid to tell them the DC. He's not afraid to tell them what they're looking at. He's not afraid to say like for instance, if that was in this, like if Brennan was this dungeon master and the player was like, oh, I'm just gonna fall. Brennan went like, you do know ghouls are like flesh-eating monsters, right? And then the players would have been like, oh, yeah, I'm going to keep running. Like, Brennan's not afraid to tell the players something. And that's the thing with Dungeon Masters is your goal is to not destroy the players. Your goal is to guide them through the story. If they do something stupid and they continue to do it and, you know, they just happen to die, that's really on them. And they have to be under that understanding. If they die because you just want to kill someone, that's really not good.
Yeah, I don't think this DM just wanted to kill anyone. I think that they were like, because I again, like you said at the beginning, I get why the player was upset, because I mean that sucks. Just like lose your character 5 minutes
100%.
that sucks. But my philosophy when I'm talking to my players about player character death is, if you are stupid, you will die, period. That's how my game is framed at the beginning. And that's why I have a session 0 to tell people that. So that when they're playing the game, they understand, like, okay, we got to play carefully. We have to play as a team. No man left behind. No going off on your own little thing where you're probably going to die alone. Like, no, like, be smart. Maybe a session 0 could have helped this. Maybe that could have like, smoothed things over. But at the end of the day, this player made a bad call. Maybe the DM didn't handle it perfectly. It's one of those gray situations where you don't. It's complicated,
It's complicated. I know. Everyone can have their opinions. A lot of people might think the Dungeon Master did the right thing. Some people may think Dungeon Master didn't do the right thing, but it's just up to all of opinion.
Everyone runs a game differently. But hey, I mean, this DM, like, I respect they were even willing to admit some self-fault, even if they weren't necessarily at fault. I think that is a very respectable thing.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, that's 531. Are you ready to move on to 530?
All right, let's do 530.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit it.
Okay, so I am in this amazing group with these amazing people. We're playing a fantastic game. And the DM's a great person. I genuinely like this guy. Like, seriously, cool guy. However, his style of playing, it's either RP or it's combat, which is great. It's like, that's a great style, and I honestly do enjoy it to some level. I mean, the combat's never dull, and the RP is always fantastic. Like, so much character growth. However, I am playing a rogue, which mainly, like, its focus on skill checks with, like, stealth and sleight of hand and all these things that I want to do. I want to use them in my character, I have, like, expertise in Arcana. I have a +10 to Arcana. I want to use that at some point. But it's like, I barely get to do any skill checks at all. And I want to, like, play my rogue. I want to enjoy doing that part too. Like, yeah, I love the RP. Oh my gosh, I do. And I love the combat, but I feel like that part is kind of missing, and I want to tell him, but I want to be as polite and kind about it as possible, because he puts a lot of work into this, and I don't want to disrespect him. And I'm honestly thankful I have a game in my time zone, so what should I do? I don't know anymore.
Okay, all right. I'm going to chime in really, really quick. With this one, whoever you are, whoever you're listening to, the best way to communicate to your DM is literally just ask them. Like how you just told us. Like, you don't do the howevers. Like, don't say like, hey, I love the role play, I love the combat. Like, you can do that if you want, compliment them. It sure make them happy. But literally just say, like, go up to them and be like, hey, Dungeon Master, could you maybe throw in, like, I have all these skills and everything that I want to use. Could you throw in some things that I could potentially use these skills in? That's it. Literally, that's all you have to ask the Dungeon Master. And if they're a good Dungeon Master, like what you said they are, they're going to be more than happy to, because it seems like they really are focused around you guys and making sure roleplay is good and combat is good. They may just be missing out on the other skill checks and things, and it's just a good reminder. Just literally ask. That's all you got to do. Like, you don't say the howevers. Don't say the howevers. Don't bring up like this would be really nice. Just say it like, hey, I haven't used these in a while. Can we do that?
Can we use them?
Yeah.
You presented the situation to us very well. I think if you just take this mentality and deliver it to your Dungeon Master instead of to us losers, I think that you will do great.
Okay. First of all, nerds, thank you, not losers.
I mean, come on, look at us. But I think that it's actually very interesting, because when I was listening to this, I was like, wow, a DM who doesn't have enough skill checks in their games. I hear way more often about DMs who want players to roll for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fascinating to hear about somebody who doesn't have them roll enough. Like, that's just it's so interesting to me. What is this alien Dungeon Master?
Oh, no, yeah, for sure. But, like, great Dungeon Master, probably fantastic. I'm glad you're enjoying. You're having a great group, and obviously I could hear it in your voice that you were having so much fun. But literally, like, all you got to do is ask. That's it. Like, the Dungeon Master, like, don't be scared of Dungeon Masters. They're there to help you. They're there to make sure you are going, again, like I said before, they're there to help you get through the game. If helping get through the game means you want to do more skill checks, great. Ask them.
Great. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are nervous that presenting critique will be seen as like this form of confrontation. But like, look, you don't seem like a very confrontational person the way you talk to us. Again, just take that tone and give it to your dungeon master. You're not being confrontational by saying like, "Hey, can we improve in this thing?" Like my players right now, my game is going through a transitionary phase because I'm writing my own rewrite of D&D, so we're slowly transitioning to those rules. But because of that, there are old mechanics that are tied to 5th edition that are now irrelevant. You know, like monsters don't really have spell slots anymore. So an ability that takes spell slots away from monsters, that's worthless. And so when my players walk up to me and go, "Hey, can you rewrite this ability to be something else because it's effectively useless?" That's completely reasonable. Like that's not, I'm not being confronted. That's not my players being mean or offensive. They're asking me for something that is 100% necessary.
Absolutely. No, that is fantastic. Like, again, ask them. That's literally, that's all I can say. Ask your dungeon masters. Talk to them. They're not this almighty being. Literally, they are human beings. And again, like we said, a lot of the times the dungeon masters were like, oh, they're not having fun. They're not enjoying themselves. That's going through our minds all the time. Literally, like, ask us what
we're more nervous than you, bro.
Yeah. Ask what you want from us. That'll make us happy.
Yeah, so much. But yeah, there you go. I think you're going to do great. I hope that you have a lot of fun in your games. Those are our 2 horror stories for the day. That was fun. Nice, simple ones. Very down to earth. Love them. But in any case, it's time to move on to our final segment that I forgot to explain to you. It's time to move on to Thing of the Week. Hit the thing. So this week, my Thing of the Week, I've got 2 of them, but I chose one over the other because recently I have been rewatching the show Community. And my Thing of the Week this week is Alison Brie as Annie Edison. This character has, as dorky as it sounds, helped me through a lot of weird, like, self-conscious mental health struggles just because seeing a character that's very similar to me experience the highs and lows of life and be loved by her friends and the people around her and the community of the show in general, that was like shockingly helpful to me in accepting myself and my own stupid habits, like staying up until 2 a.m. organizing a Google Drive folder. Like that was great. So this character and the show Community is an amazing, amazing show. I've enjoyed it so much. And yeah, it's brought me a lot of happiness over the past week, more than I ever thought, to the point where I almost felt uncomfortable watching the show just because I hadn't felt that much joy in a while, as depressing as that sounds. It just made me feel really good. And that was awesome. So that's my Thing of the Week. Duke, what's your Thing of the Week this week?
My Thing of the Week this week, it was actually today. I went and got supplies, I went and got tools, and I made myself a parkour vaulting training vault. If you don't know, before Dungeons & Dragons and One-Shot Questers, I was a gymnastics coach and a parkour enthusiast. I did it for I did it for like 6 to 7 years, and then I got injured. I strained my pec muscle. It was bad. And then I just fell out of it. But I made the video of how D&D classes take out the trash, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, that was really impressive!" Like the monk one where I like ran on the wall and threw the trash away. And it was like the most replayed part. Yeah, I know parkour, things like that. And so I just built a vault. It's literally just off screen. You can't see it. And then I'm gonna be getting a mat, and over the next few weeks and stuff, I'm gonna be doing parkour again, and I'm so excited. I've missed it a lot, and
that's awesome.
My muscle memory kicks in and goes, "Oh, you were really good at this," and I was like, "Yeah, I was. Now let's get better."
All right, before my camera runs out of battery, let's run through the outro real quick. Duke, before we run out of battery, roll out the red carpet. What do you got going on this week?
This week, I'm going to spend the rest of the week with my wife and enjoy spending time with her. And we're getting ready with this new style of the channel with how-to informational videos. And I'm going to be building a new set behind me. It's going to be portable and movable, and we can make like rooms and stuff with it. It's going to be great. Anyway, yep.
Yeah, awesome.
You can find me anywhere.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast, then please do leave a like. If you want to see more of our content, then you can check out both my channel and his channel, linked in the description. And also, while you're down there, subscribe to specifically my channel, Crispy's Tavern, to get more of our content as it comes out. Yeah. And finally, if you want to leave your own stories or thoughts, go down in the comments down below. If you can't think of a comment, leave the comment, learning from failure, to let me know you made it to the end of the video. And that's like, comment, subscribe. We will both see you all next time. Farewell.
Bye-bye.